So I wanted to make this video for those of you who may be feeling lost in your 20s, which honestly has also been me since I graduated college. This could be with any aspect of your life, whether it's your career, your personal relationships, your personal identity, and just how you view yourself as a person. So hopefully the tips in this video can be helpful to you guys and also make you feel not as alone if you're going through this. So the first topic I wanted to discuss in this video, which is just the fact that you'll never have it all figured out. You'll never know the next step. You'll never know whether or not the next step you take is the right step or the best step for you. There's no such thing. It's just the choices that you made and the choices that you didn't make. I thought when I graduated college and I was working in this super cool 9-to-5 job that I thought was my dream job, everything that I wanted. It was also paying really well, and it was also in the New York City area, which I had always wanted to go back to after graduation. I had a really nice manager and a pretty good support system at work, but somehow I felt like there was something missing. And even though I was at this place that I had tried so hard to get to since I was in college, when I got there and realized that it wasn't all that I had expected it or that it cracked up to be, that was honestly when I had to start doing a lot more introspective thinking and really trying to figure out what I wanted. And that is a question that you will never know in life. I really feel like that is just life's question, and there are people in their 40s, 50s, 60s and above that still do not know the answer to this question. And I really think the truth of the matter is that this answer is always going to be changing depending on the phase of life that you're in. For example, at 21, when I accepted my job offer and moved to the city with all my things packed, I was probably thinking, this is it, I'm set for life and this is how content I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And at that specific point in time, I was probably right. That was exactly what I wanted. And if I just stopped time right there, then technically I would have had it all figured out, because at that moment that was actually all I wanted. And sorry about this lighting change. Okay, hopefully that is a little bit better. But yeah, like I was saying, there are going to be points in your life where you do feel like you have it all figured out. But as time goes on and you grow as a person through your experiences, things you learn, the people you meet, and everything that happens to you and for you, you start to realize that there's more. You start to realize that there's more to life, or there's something else that you haven't considered, or a new door opens or a new path opens down a route that you originally did not even know existed. So you really only have it all figured out until the next big thing happens, and then you no longer have it figured out. Having things all figured out is really just one point in time, and it is not a forever thing. So I guess all this to say, take your next step and don't worry so hard about whether or not it's the right step for you or the correct step, because at least right now we don't have an option to go back in time and fix something if we didn't like the outcome of the decisions that we made. So whatever decision you make is the decision, and it's the only one that you're gonna get for all of the decisions that life throws at you. And it's more so about being brave about making the decision that your gut is telling you to go for, rather than waiting to take action, thinking you have to have this amount of stability before you make that decision, or this amount of money in the bank to feel secure enough to go for this thing that you want to do. If you're always waiting for the perfect moment to make that perfect decision when everything is all laid out and planned for you by the universe and everything, you're going to be waiting a long time, and in that time life is going to fly by. I swear time in your 20s flies by so much faster than time in your teens, and it's crazy scary to me that I'm already in my mid-20s, and that is pretty young in most people's standards, but still I feel like time is just flying by, and I always have to remind myself to live in the present. And this also goes into my next topic, is to take risks early on. So as someone who's grown up first generation American, I think growing up my main goal was to get a stable job, and that was really the only criteria of what I wanted out of my career. And I never thought past that until I graduated college and got into a set job, which I really felt like was my dream job at the time. And I would also consider myself as someone who is very risk averse. I don't enjoy betting against the odds or making risky career decisions or financial decisions. So when I say take risks early on, I'm really talking about the risks that you probably know that you should take but are a little bit scared to follow through on. For example, after I started my first job out of college, about 4 to 5 months into my job, I started this YouTube channel. And honestly, my whole life I had always wanted to start a YouTube channel, and even though there is really inherently no risk in creating a YouTube channel, I had all these thoughts in my head about what my friends would think of me, what my family would think of me, what my coworkers and manager would think of me, because I obviously thought they were gonna find my channel the second I posted a video and then somehow just decide to fire me because I had this YouTube channel. I mean, thankfully that did not happen, but basically a lot of the risks I had in my head about making this decision to start something that I've always wanted to start had all of these made up risks that were floating around in my head that prevented me from actually taking action on what I wanted to do. And of course for you, this may not be starting a YouTube channel. It may be switching careers. It may be going back to school. It may be going into a boot camp. It may be dropping everything and traveling the world for a little bit. There's so many different things that you might want out of your life, and oftentimes the main thing holding you back is mental. For example, at some point in my 20s, I do want to travel to different countries for a longer period of time that isn't just a 1 or 2 week vacation, and I also want to spend time road tripping or even starting my own consultancy, which I have no idea what that would look like right now, but these are all things I want to do in my 20s while I still have the runway to take risks, because obviously right now I don't have a expensive mortgage. I don't have children that rely on me besides my cats, I guess, which are kind of like children. Basically, you have a lot less to lose in your 20s compared to your 30s and 40s, and I really think it just gets harder and harder from there to be able to do the things that you've always dreamed and planned to do on your vision boards and your dream boards as a kid, and just to be a little bit more fearless in the vision of the life that you have for yourself. And the next topic is to analyze your friendships and relationships. So the people you surround yourself with in life is obviously one of the most important things in your life. Humans are social animals for the most part, and I will admit that fostering relationships has never been my strong suit, and it shows even more after graduating college and no longer having one place to go to or one location where all your friends or classmates are in one place, and you don't have to reach out to someone to make plans because everyone's going to be at the same place anyway. But now as an adult, you really have to put emphasis and you really have to put in the work to keep the relationships and maintain the friendships that you want to have in your life. And I'm sure I'm someone who could be taking my own advice right now, but it really is important, the relationships that you have in your life, whether it's friendships, family, your significant other, your pets even. And I know there's quotes out there which I'm also guilty of talking about, like you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, which I still believe has some truth to it. And there was a point in my life where I felt like I had to have a circle of people that I really looked up to, had similar goals as me, were working on similar things, maybe were really into self-improvement and productivity and career related things. But the truth is that your friends don't all have to have the same goals as you, the same things they want out of life as you. At some point, I feel like the media really made friendships seem like this superficial thing where it really felt like it was transactional, where you were able to get something out of this person, or where you're able to learn from this person, or get some kind of lesson or a connection out of this person. Because the quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," makes you feel like you need to find better friends, makes it sound like you have to be friends with those you think are successful, those you want to be like, those you aspire to, while disregarding whether or not those people care about you, whether or not they're there for you when you need them. And there was a video I watched recently about friendships and how transactional they have become in this age of social media. And I guess basically what I'm trying to say is, be friends with the people you want to be friends with, the ones that make you happier, the ones that bring you up, the ones that make you feel positive after an interaction with them. You don't have to be friends with someone just because they're in a career that you want to go into, just because they're in a role that you want to be in and you want to aspire to that. Again, I'm not a friendship coach at all. I'm just someone who has given some thought to the friendships in my life, and even now I'm still working through them and figuring out what's important to me and my values in the friendships that I do have. Okay, number 4 is to let yourself enjoy the process. As someone who has goals written down for the next 5, 10, 15 years, the rest of my life, the day-to-day of what I want my life to look like in my 40s and in my 50s, and basically I'm very type A, and I write a lot of things down that I want to work towards. All of my goals, my milestones, I check them off. I love checking things off my to-do list. I love checking things off my goals if I accomplish them. And then right after that, I create the next goal and the next one and the next one. There is no end to these goals, guys. There is no final goal until the end, you know, like the end. And I think I really let my to-do list and my habit tracker and everything in my life and everything else I use for productivity really drive my life and my day-to-day and what I do, that there is no freedom or time to even enjoy the process. And that is really what life is about. You want to enjoy your day-to-day. You want to enjoy, what is that quote? It's like, life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, something like that. Basically nowadays we spend so much time trying to run to the next goal, trying to run to the next deadline, trying to get to the next finish line, that we don't realize life is basically a long continuation of finish lines, and right when you pass through this one, you're gonna have the next one to go through and the next one. So why do we rush through life thinking that the end point is going to make us happy when the journey is the one? Oh, that's the quote. It's the journey, not the destination. Ignore the part about marathons and sprints, even though that's also a very popular quote. But yeah, I feel like in our society today, we spend a lot of time just romanticizing when we get to go to the new vacation, starting at our dream job, buying that expensive headset, I don't know, whatever is expensive that you guys like want to buy. Basically, we let ourselves get so consumed by the destination that we don't actually slow down and appreciate how we are actually getting there. And there's another quote that I've been thinking about a lot, and that is, how you spend your days is how you spend your life. And I spend my days checking off things in my to-do list, following my habit tracker, working from home most of the day, maybe squeezing some time for hobbies if I can, but most days feel pretty much the same because I'm focusing so hard on accomplishing these goals that I've written down. And what is it all really for if you're not enjoying your day-to-day life? If you're not going to live your life to the fullest, what's the point of earning the money, getting that promotion, going on that vacation, if majority of the year you're not living your best life? So yeah, just some food for thought. I feel like this video has brought up more questions than answers, but hopefully this video did help put into perspective some of the things that may be leading to that lost feeling if you're currently in your 20s and feeling the same way that I am. And on this channel, I typically talk about cybersecurity careers and things like that, but I also enjoy talking about video topics like this. So if you have any video topics that you would like me to cover on this channel, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and turn on post notifications. I post videos every Wednesdays and Sundays at 12 p.m. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!